Graphics. Who doesn't love graphics? While there are some that are flat out incredible, others are just pure and utter garbage.
Garbage! And that was a disgraceful performance, in my opinion.
For years, I've watched tons of NASCAR races and been amazed of how far graphics have come. From the simple days of CBS Sports and ABC Wide World of Sports, to the over-the-top information ESPN provided during the Speed World era. And then there's some absurd, cluttered, and of course, laziness. Either way, graphics are an essential part of a NASCAR coverage. In an era where new and original content are hard to come by these days, it's about time NASCAR graphics to strap on and be critiqued. And it'll be right here on Auto Rockin' Racing 94.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
You know what, man? This commitment of this series isn't easy as it appears. You see, since my TNT video months ago, I've been through hell and back with my personal and professional life. To allow myself covering the races at Portland, Sonoma, and Meridian for the Tribune, it's beyond busy.
I've got a bad disease. Up from my brain is where I bleed.
I put up the interview I had with Haley Deegan as proof that I'm not slouching.
You run me hard, I'm gonna run you hard just right back. And we did that tonight. I showed that I'm not one to be messed with. I'm not one that you're gonna be able to take advantage of, because you give me something, I'm gonna give it right back.
Red flag videos are relatively easy when time allows. But the goal of completing the TV graphics series has been a complete disaster, if you ask me. So here's my plan. After this episode, my goal is to complete episodes 6 through 9 in 2019 and upload it every 3 months. I'm not a guy who half-asses this kind of stuff that requires time, research, and critical analysis. I've missed several graphics from several networks already. I can't cover them all, but at least I want to give my 10 cents on how I feel at the time and even looking back on it. Many people out there are dedicated on putting up daily and even weekly content. Some are great, but some had me like, how the fuck did you forget Paul?
Oh my god, how dare you attack the finish line!
Not this guy again. Hey, I thought I got rid of you on the TBS episode.
You might have, but like 50 Cent, I can take anything.
Sure, whatever. Hey, can I go back to my...
No! You talk shit about Ken, now you're going...
Oh, it was sarcasm!
Get off!
Fine.
I dare you to avoid negative references of the Phoenix 5. You're our national treasure, and I dare you to trash anti-Daytona Day, and I think...
Are you kidding me? I'm not gonna stoop myself that low. As a matter of fact, if I'm thinking what I'm thinking, those two are the...
You're going straight to hell!
What a lunatic. Anyways, speed!
Oh, speed! That's right!
Oh, no, not that speed! This speed! Like many of us, the Motorsports Authority was our getaway from whatever we've gone through our lives. This was our channel, whether it's the sanctioning bodies of NASCAR, Formula One, ARCA, Trans-Am, ALMS, and even World Rally Championship or shows like Wind Tunnel with Day to Spain, Trackside, Speed Report, Pinks, Barrett Jackson, and yes, no B2. What now?
You sexist pig! Nobody wants the worst thing to have!
When did you ever turn to a BYU activist that's Retract what I just said.
I don't give a shit unless it's Wendy or Caitlin. No women references are allowed.
Get out of your own home.
No.
Carry on. The network had it all, but before focusing on the main run from 2002 to 2013, let's briefly mention the good old Speedvision.
How dare you bring up something anti-Daytona Day loves?
Grow up, I told you. Fine. I'll stick with the main.
Thank you.
Yeah, oh, hey! One of the 5 members just posted a video.
Well, really? Fuck you. I'm out of here. How about you that? Finally, they've destroyed me.
Okay, this one will be different. Rather than 3 stages, I'm going Coke 600 on this. 4 stages. Why? I'll be talking about the Speedvision days, don't tell them, and then dive into the Truck Series for the first few years, and who knows, I might even bring up some Cup stuff along the way. Daytona will be the main subject from 2003 to 2006 with some different races to show the changes. 2007 onwards, it's a mixed bag between that and the All-Star race. Sounds good? Okay, without further ado, green flag is in the air, and my analysis of the Speed Channel TV graphics is underway. I know this is a NASCAR TV graphics series, but I can't ignore what led to the Speed Channel. In the beginning, when you had Sam Posey as the man of the network, narrating stuff like the history of Trans-Am, you had a simple package of graphics. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go show you some Trans-Am featuring a man that I can believe what he's selling other than Mike the Con Man Seneca. Tommy Dreesy. On the top left corner, you just had a simple black flag with the number underneath. Very basic, straightforward. However, I would like to know as the reason why. Why isn't there an explanation, you may ask? That's why you have commentators explaining that shit, so you don't have to. Look at this fool. Stick to selling movies. Okay, the entire run of Speedvision never really had drastic changes, so I'll show you a Winston West race because you know.
Down on the West Coast, they got their icon.
Did I just hear Lana? Hey, are you talking about speed?
Yes, jerk.
Stop playing that feminist shit.
Are you sure you ain't that person I know that went there?
Don't interrupt me from watching better stuff that isn't about Booty Laser.
It's Buddy Lazier, not Bork Laser, whatever the fuck did you just say? Oh, now look at these names. Gilliland, Harvick, and Woodside as well. More on the latter in a bit. There's nothing really fancy about their graphics, just basic stuff. Only nitpick is the point standings graphic, is that there's no car number, which is kind of a bummer if you ask me. Why show the race title graphic again? We've seen it already. Now here coming back from break is more like it. Now that works. This works a lot better. As for the starting grid, rather than positions, it's just inside and outside rows. I guess it's okay, but as you see, there are numbers included. This is way before the number font days, so for its time, that was the norm. Overall, it's basic stuff, but compared to what's seen elsewhere like TNN, and when I get to it, CBS and ESPN, it's uninspiring. When a race starts or resumes, it shows the simple flag indicator with the lap that the race restarted. That's just about it. Ah, yes. They did the ESPN thing throughout their coverage. Takes up a good chunk of the screen. At least it's not TNN when it took up way too much and the clip was very, very small. Oh, now it's a good time to show the onboard graphic. And like TNN at that point, they show the sponsor, Napa. Get the good stuff. Now Woodside, like several guys in the number 16 Napa car for Bill McAnally, didn't live up to their expectations, but his case was more about health than poor runs on the national tour. There you see Kevin Harvick's onboard. It has the name and underneath is the sponsor and car make. Glad to see that detail. Oh, by the way, their Segway graphic is the Racetac logo. Much better. Really? Really? They got Sean's name wrong? I don't care if it's tape delayed or live. Unacceptable. Fortunately, it was fixed, but I saw...
Sean Woodside, are you talking about this West thing the whole time?
Buzz off, you jagoff!
I said, don't talk about speed.
Man, fuck you! Since ARCA will be part of NASCAR soon, I have a right to show this. This is a different starting grid from 2001. The driver pick is now shown, but watered down. No speed, which is kind of a bummer. Just picture, text of the car makes, and underneath is the number with some not showing their full name. Also, no starting positions. The Speedvision logo was now shown in full color then gray. It's important to note that if it was live, it does say live over the network name. But considering the footage that I saw is Formula 1, so can't show it. The driver bio like this one shows, God, what a bootleg shitty ass number font. And haven't I seen that car elsewhere? Must be driven by a rooster. By the end of 2001, Speedvision would fade away as Fox Sports acquired it that summer and renamed it the Speed Channel on February 11, 2002. Here's the results graphic, very basic to say the least. This would be Blaise Alexander's last shining moment as he would be killed at Charlotte later that season. That race was shown on Speedvision.
Damn!
Okay. Here's your ticker as Earnhardt drives around the road course. You have 3 drivers shown at a time, position on one section, the number and last name, and then the car make. I'd imagine other stuff popped up throughout the telecast. By the way, thank God NBC next year will be covering the entire 24-hour race, at least on the app. Okay, I'm done bashing Fox for now.
Good. You're an asshole.
Now we're on speed. Wait, is this speed or Fox? Yes, that year for some races, notably ARCA, it showed both the speed graphics, which I'll go into detail next, and had in my eye my favorite Fox graphics. What bugs me is the green jelly bean remains alone. No logo. Sound effects were the same for many years. Secret was all the way up to 2008 when those sounds were heard. There you see the Pit of a Fool, Chad Blunt battling against ARCA legend Tim Steele, and you see their color theme was red and white. The red number box with white text defined my childhood when I got the network in 2004. It's so crisp and not overboard. I relish those graphics. Just look at it. Man, I miss it. Okay, now let's get to the true opener, the 2003 Florida Dodge Dealers 250. Before we're really getting into it, Speed had a shitload of graphic variations, so I'll do my best to go over it as many as possible, because again, I don't half-ass my stuff. I can't commit to a deadline on YouTube, but it's not for laziness. This was the time when the Truck Series had its aura and mystique of being better than Winston Cup, and it was considered must-see TV. Still is, but that is all but a distant memory with underwhelming commentary, bad coverage. It's just not the same. As you saw with Robert Presley's name graphics, Speed used some elements from the Fox telecast. Even the black number 1 truck was transitioned from clip A to clip B. The red, black, and white color theme was up and running, but to be honest, it's no different than Fox. Even the text font here wasn't standing out. Hey guys, remember when fans rejected him as champion? I still remember, but here's the driver info. Basic number text with the Speed logo being the backdrop instead of the jelly bean with the actual number font. Again, this is fine by me because it was 100% theme. Later, they fell into the same trash Fox has had since 2011. Another thing that Fox had. Just saying, but no complaints. Hey, if NBC and TNT were the same graphically, Fox and Speed can have that bond. Besides, it's arguably my favorite graphic package of all time if you haven't realized that. Simple, theme-centric, straightforward. More on the graphics here with the starting grid. Exactly like Fox grid package that year. Main difference was there's no truck or number font in the center. Again, like an old grid from the Speedvision days. No full name. Look at the Speed logo. Now look at the truck number. Now you get my point? Anyways, copy and paste format. With onboards, you had a portrait, the number, and name with the truck make. Underneath it says onboard. I'll never understand why Kevin Harvick gave Ed Barrier a ride. I love that concept. Craftsman win from the pole. When you go to victory lane, you get a cool card that says $10,000 Craftsman bonus. Joe Rudman really loved that sign. Alright, the race is underway and like Fox it says start. Below says start 2, which makes it a little bit unnecessary seeing it twice. No need for double reminders, once is enough. Okay, now you see with this ticker. Welcoming, it's the same thing as Fox, with some difference. Instead of the yellow boxes, it was red, and the size was smaller. Another noticeable difference is how quick the ticker went. Like seriously, what is this, the end of the 2001 Talladega 500? Slow it down, man! Man, I want that shot back. Okay, here's when it was more alive. When showing the truck makes, starting position, or intervals just to name a few, the background is white text and underneath the running order and details, it shows the number of laps remaining. Super slim and tight with the jelly bean indicating the flag. Also, like Fox, the lap number will show up under caution. Here's another graphic where it shows the progress and the race title. The latter was a speed thing, by the way. Like Fox's first year, it often shows a basic classification, just the top 3 for this example. Okay, here's a pig graphic that I've neglected throughout this series, and fortunately, it's the same damn thing like Fox. Except it's toned down because there's no driver info or pit times whatsoever. If they want to show some Fox shit, show it to its full potential. For me, I felt they're not maximizing that effort. Oops, that's a fail on the ticker. Speed Scene was showing a camera box when a driver is interviewed like Jason Leffler in this piece. They did that when they aired a condensed version of the Winston Cup race's prior event. Look at the 2002 Brickyard 400 for proof. It's in parts. If only we could get that kind of details today. Has been absent, even with the pylon ticker, as problems take place. Bland truck, bland font, no sponsors. This Carl Edwards guy ain't.
Don't talk shit about Carl.
It's called sarcasm, you number.
Fuck sarcasm.
2003 saw little changes And you'll see in the opening years of the Truck Series era, they made little touches that made the ticker better. Why is the final lap graphic showing a checker flag? Seriously, that makes no sense. Why not a white flag? Excuse me. Got myself carried away. The color scheme remained the same, so in the next couple of years, it's more updates than mass enhancements. I'm going to quickly shift from trucks to qualifying to give them some love as well. Real quick, look at this finish.
Now, Robert Presley out in front. He's going to be able to block Crawford and stay on the bottom. And Robert Presley going to try to defend his title here.
Dennis Setzer makes it 3 up on top. Dennis Setzer around the outside of Bobby Hamilton.
Here they come out of nowhere. Presley dodging to the high side. Crawford goes down low. He tries to make a pass as they're coming on the line.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Get a look of this knockoff schedule graphic. It's plain and not worth discussing because it's how basic it looks. Fox had flash. And if you quickly saw the qualifying details before popping off, good, because it was a great touch, seeing the odds of being good or bad at qualifying. Also the number of starts the driver had. This was their graphic after a driver wrapped up their qualifying run, with speed, regular numbers, but I did like that feature a whole lot. With Fox, it showed the number fonts from everyone, unlike NBC and TNT. I love the first version of the ticker, but it's so damn fast, so I gotta go with that. This is the starting grid graphic that was more common instead of what you saw from the truck race. No car makes in this one. Super simple, and it's not flawed. It changed in the finale, but why the extra box? The row number was on top instead of the side. The outside and inside graphic is left and right, when it should be right and left, because to me, the pole setter is mostly on the damn left. Right here you see some text changes except for the running order. They went with a lap count instead of the laps remaining. The flag indicator has grown, and the subject matter, behind leader, is more clean than bold. Fun fact, I used to think NASCAR TV was the same, but it's the Speed Channel. Boy, did NASCAR TV foreshadow the direction of the network indeed. Now I just hope they get their own network, and if they do, don't be like F1 TV Pro and put select races whenever they so desire. Seriously, I had it, and it irks me to no end when you had a limited number of races from the good old days, and they don't add more unless if it's a key Grand Prix weekend coming up. Add them all like the WWE Network. Fuck Nia Jax, and fuck. I ran out of fucks. Just don't kill the YouTube industry, please. That's all I'm asking. At this point, the top 5 had more details like driver picks. Now this is what I remember a lot. Okay, let's take a look at this panel. Geeky Ray Allen, I'm a sports guy Dorsey Schrader, Ironman Phil Parsons, and Cringeless DW. Also, here's a championship update graphic. Shows the track position and points if the race were to be over by now. It's not a new concept as ESPN showed it a lot in the late 90s. Here we go. Much better program reminder. Oh, trackside. So let's have a brief rundown on that show. Okay, but it was a fun show, and I remember that used to be a simple concept before going raw and live from 2003 onwards. This was NASCAR's equivalent of college game day, which I might add, fuck thank you, hell yeah, Wazoo, ha ha!
3 days later.
Man, I hate that guy. Handcuffed like a puppet. Okay, I said how there was no details at Daytona. They did later, and now we saw a poorly executed graphic of the driver in pit time. Look at this piece of shit's info. Not all the way to the bottom. The black box is slim where the text doesn't even fit. It'll be fixed, so don't worry. You know what won't be fixed? This race.
Guys, let's go down trackside.
Nice graphic.
With Brendan gone.
Not only a great race car driver, but a good friend. Brendan, this morning I said I didn't think that the other team trucks would be a factor. I'm glad you're okay if you are, and other than that, I do not know what to say.
Neither do I, Barry. Pretty calm most of the time. We had a Dodge that could win the championship, and Jimmy Smith can kiss my ass.
No shit, there is an advantage. Quickly, a suspension elevator brackets last with the guy that ran McDonald's out of the sport for quite some time. Junkie fuckhead who let that fool run, and Robbie Gordon's pal, the rejected champion and horrible cup rookie. Allen Iverson thanked him in a Hall of Fame speech, and who the hell is that fool? Poor Dennis, he was just a Mark Martin of the Truck Series.
We're coming into green, and I don't know if Travis spun the wheels or he just hit the brakes. You know, everybody's on the gas, everybody's moving forward, and he stopped, and I turned left to avoid from having a big wreck. And as soon as I did that, he stood on the gas, you know, and I had to get on the gas too. So it's just one of them deals. I think I know how to win championships now, just play dirty like he does and everybody else. I'm the most fairest guy out there in the world, but it seems like I say, this sport here and the way it is, the guys that run clean and, you know, do the best job they can are the guys that get screwed.
Okay, Bret Hart.
Well, I know you put a lot into it, and they just told us Travis is a champion.
Yeah, I heard all the boos.
You see why I called Travis the rejected champion? The boos validated my theory.
Yeah, like I said, that figures, you know, screw them. You know, that's just the way it's always been ever since I've been in this series. You know, they just don't want me to win and everything. But, you know, we keep trying. We'll come back, and like I said, next year, if they don't think they, you know, we ain't playing fair no more. You know, we're going to just play like everybody else, and you're going to see the biggest cheapest of this year at the same rate.
Ted would finally win one in 2005. The sponsor would now be like Fox on top of the lap count and flag indicator. Again, the text change on the ticker is tighter, and the time text was changed due to the text length. The time here is bolder.
Now Ken Weaver is on the track, and when he comes...
The fuck, man? Someone was running and you're not showing it? Dick. Here's a qualifying rundown. Top 10 in it shows the truck make and speed. Cool beans. Now this race is special because the Speed Channel was finally included on my television. F1 decade, and waking up at 4 a.m. just to watch Speed Racer before school were the shit. No wonder why my sleeping habits has been garbage ever since. This was the first race I saw of the Truck Series. What was my drawing interest?
And then Hank just took a terrible shot head on right into the left front corner of Tina's truck. You can see it there.
I was only 9, damn it! I read about it in school! A much better grid. Now the rows are in that box on the left. The inside and outside are switched to its proper place. Number, driver info, and the truck make were on top. The speed, yes, that speed, also makes an appearance. Another text change on the ticker. The driver text was bolder and wide. The interval was bolded more, and the speed of the running order is smooth and calm. Also, the subject matter of the black box behind the leader in this example, once again, lowercase instead of all caps. The lap count wasn't skinny. Andy Petrie and DW competed in that race, also Brad Keselowski. But the former was vaguer for me as a kid that he ran. Nice feature on the differences between Petrie and David Starr. The driver, not the wrestler. Brief rundown on the results graphic. Notice how familiar it is with Fox yet again. Again. I hate repeating multiple words in less than a second. They were the equivalent of NBC and TNT. The only differences were the color theme and number font. Starting grid had another switch. This time it's 1 row per page instead of 3 at a time. Another Fox backdrop when showing multiple screens shows a slim name graphic of Robert Presley. Not necessary in this case. Last minute major changes featured on this speed ticker was again the damn text. The number text was bolder, but that's besides the point. But damn! All caps? Literally the whole damn thing was all caps. Why? Stick with the basics. It makes the alignment so bad and all crammed up like Kurt Busch and Jamie McMurray. Oh, and the flag indicator doesn't change. Boy, that ticker was ass! The black box subject matter thingy went all caps, but everything else was normal. The lap count was bigger now. Meh. Yes, this was a forgotten graphic. Cropped up photo Mike Skinner with the driver's last name and truck number with the current position as the main focus. However, it made the sponsor box bigger, and it looks awful, especially when the Ford logo is small as hell. The early years of Speed laid the foundation for me and others as the place for NASCAR coverage, especially the Truck Series, which was the show for most fans. I know Thanksgiving is over, but I'm thankful that RaceFan84, formerly known as Alex BD, who I thanked him in the first episode for having the first ever Cup TNN coverage just in the nick of time when I was developing that series. I also thank him even more for putting this one up because this outro is an all-time favorite of mine. Give that lad a subscribe, seriously, he deserves it. But from here on out, the Motorsports Authority became the unofficial NASCAR network, or to some, the NASCAR network, as you find out why.
They're going to red flag the event. They're going to stop the field, restart the race, and try and settle it.